Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 17th, 2018 combined meeting of the Pine-Richland School Board. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Mr. Lyons.
Here.
Ms. Mizbach. Mr. Kashani.
Here.
Dr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. DiTullio. Ms. Goebel. Dr. Meyer.
Here.
Dr. Mihalik.
Here.
Mr. Moy.
Here.
Thank you.
We'll now move to recognition of visitors. Any member of the Pine-Richland community would like to address the board may do so at this time.
Hello, my name is Elena Harris, and I'm a senior here at the high school. I come to you today to address a serious issue facing our students and our community. In the past 10 years, our school has averaged one suicide every year. I'm not looking to assign blame. There have been many different reasons for the deaths which have occurred over the years. I am, however, here to provide you with a student perspective on this issue, and hopefully work with you to improve our reactions and our understanding. I have talked to my fellow classmates, some of whom are here tonight showing their support, as well as parents and faculty, and the conversation has always been the same. We need to do something more. Among these conversations, ideas that were put forward were peer counseling sessions, having younger, more relatable speakers come speak to us at assemblies, as well as putting up more appropriate posters which can hopefully change someone's day. However varied the ideas presented, the common thread was simply talk to us. My fellow classmates and I have noticed that the lack of communication with us as students has started to take its toll. We are confused as to why these deaths occur and searching for ways to prevent them with a serious lack of guidance. I hope that by speaking here today I can effect a change by asking that we stop being kept in the dark. As students, we are on the front lines of these issues and have been provided with no tools to help ourselves or a friend who is in need. Other than telling a parent or another trusted adult, we have not been told how to help someone suffering from depression or suicidal thoughts, or how to help ourselves. I can tell you from firsthand experience that students do not tell adults what is going on. They think that their friend is fine, they're just being dramatic, or are even afraid of destroying their friendship. By not instructing us on what signs of depression look like, how to get help for ourselves and others, and how important it is to get help for ourselves and others, I feel that you are providing us as students with a disservice. The watering down of information is the biggest problem I have noticed, as it makes us feel like we are being treated like children, when in reality we are young adults and would like to be treated as such. I don't think we need to know personal information about our fellow students. However, we should be provided with tools to better help ourselves and others. For my senior year, it is encouraging to hear and see certain efforts being put in place, as we have not seen that at all in previous years. However, I hope my words today have brought to light how we as the students are feeling, and that we can stop being kept in the dark. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board at this time? There'll be another time to address the board at the conclusion of our meeting. Thank you. Student and staff recognition, Ms. Hathaway.
Thank you. Pine-Richland High School junior Isabella McGill was named a finalist in the Ayn Rand Anthem Essay Contest. This year, Ayn Rand Institute collected more than 11,000 submissions from nearly 20 countries, and only 1% make it to finalist status. Pine-Richland High School senior Arjan Guglani was selected to participate in the Penn Apps at the University of Pennsylvania, which was held September 7th through the 10th. This event has participants team up to work on innovative software and hardware solutions to real-world problems. In addition, junior Justin Waltrip was also accepted into Hack the North, a similarly prestigious event held at the University of Waterloo in Ontario. The two hope to plan a similar type event at Pine-Richland, so stay tuned. Softball player, junior Alyssa Miller, was selected to represent Team USA in the Dominican Republic to compete against top competitors from Caribbean as well as countries in South America and Central America in mid-August. And in 6 games, Alyssa and Team USA earned a 3-3 record. She plays for not only the high school team but for the Pittsburgh Passion. Sophomore Abby Narduli made it to the semifinal round of the WPIAL Tennis Section Signals Tournament. She lost in the semifinals. She did qualify for the consolation match and earned 4th place. She will play in the WPIAL Championship Tournament on Thursday and Friday. The Pine-Richland High School girls tennis team is also on a roll. The team is 4-0 in its section, so congratulations to those students.
Thank you, Rachel. Correspondence, Ms. Williams.
No correspondence has been received.
Thank you. Item 1.05 is a motion to approve the meeting minutes as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now move into the main portion of our meeting agenda with a strategic plan update. But I do want to mention, just for everyone's awareness, we don't typically answer or respond to questions or issues that are raised at our meeting, but we do hope Mrs. Bowman and Dr. Pasquinelli will continue to work with students and focus on this particular area of concern. So thank you for bringing it to our attention and increasing our awareness. Item 2.01, strategic plan, school start times.
Yes, we just wanted to provide you with an update. We've been looking at school start times over about the last 8 months at a moderate pace, convening together and really trying to ground ourselves in understanding our current structures and the way that we are transporting students here, as well as the day start times. And so even in looking at our status quo, the situation that we're in right now, we found through that study that we have about a 15 to 20 minute potential improvement within the start time for the high school, where we actually had a layover occurring between the high school, middle school, and Eden Hall runs. So if we close that gap, even staying in our current status, we will be able to benefit at least 2,100 students in shifting that time back to provide them an additional late start, which would then give them additional time to sleep, and following the research that we have been reading about the benefits of that for students. So in terms of that, that's option number one. The second option that we looked at was shifting all schedules back. So that entailed 3 different options, whether it was starting at 7:45, 7:50, or 8 o'clock at the high school. That would then allow a later, earlier bus time. So for the very first bus that is coming around to pick students up, we'd gain either 46 minutes to an hour of time within that model, which we feel is a significant benefit and something that would be worthwhile looking at. Because it would bring us benefit for those students while also having less impact on the entire family structure and the schedules for the elementary students return home, et cetera. Finally, we looked at the idea of flip-flopping the Eden Hall with the middle school, high school schedules. And from a logistics standpoint, for multiple reasons, this was a more difficult task, and it's impossible, essentially, from a logistics standpoint, to be sharing the buses that we require for the high school, middle school run, deploy them back to the areas that they need to be assigned to then carry on with the additional routes. So we require the full bus load for high school, middle school, whereas the start times and end times of those days vary. So to actually pick all of the students up and have that schedule run, it does not come out on paper. So we've leaned more towards the shifting all schedules back, which is something that we're looking at recommending, and we are looking forward to talking with families at the upcoming strategic planning sessions to kind of share that idea, as well as the concept that it's working hand in hand by structuring that schedule, but then also having families understand that by kids having more routine bedtimes, the technology decrease, right before bed. So there are some habits, if you will, at home that would also help in tandem with this structural change that we are looking at. So we'll discuss that at those strategic planning sessions. It will be something where we're looking to gain some insights and educate families, although it will not be kind of like a majority role situation in that. So we are looking forward to entertaining that conversation and the potential benefits that this could have if we end up adopting a change in our start times. Questions?
Any high-level questions?
or detailed questions if you want to ask detailed questions too. But
Would you pull up the Allegheny High School start times?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I mention is because and I feel we may hear this, it's 15, 20 minutes. If we get 20, 25, doesn't make a difference. I'm going to posit from a decade-long perspective that I don't think this line stays there over the next 10 years. I think it moves. And we may be fighting to keep up, and you can see where we are already. And I wonder if, based on extracurriculars, things like that, that it doesn't get easier to move the next 20 minutes in 2027. And I don't know what that looks like. So I think each incremental move may have some value.
Yeah, and again, our approach to this, as we've communicated with our families last year, was to not try to make this overly complex. And when we studied it, the reality is a small shift in time, 25 minutes plus some lag time in buses, puts us at the 7:45 time high school, middle school. And again, in working with Mrs. Bowman and working with our athletic department and considering, we have so many families with so many individual unique situations, whether it's child care of an older child for a younger student, whether it's a work schedule a student might have. But ultimately, we know our high school students in particular, many have significant academic loads. They're involved in multiple activities. They also have to work. They have homework that keeps them up. There's a number of factors that impact this. Earlier, we heard a speaker around a specific component of mental health and wellness, and what does that mean around suicide, and very difficult, tough discussions. But this is an example structurally of something that we can consider that has an impact, again, on 2,100 students. And it also has a rippling impact. So we have to think about that. What is the impact on the end of the Eden Hall day? What is the impact on the end of the primary school day? We bus to 40 other schools, private and parochial schools, in a 10-mile distance from every outside edge of our border. So a lot of times logistics aren't just about busing or transporting students who are attending our schools, but it's our students, our residents, who are attending schools elsewhere. So the point that Dr. Silbaugh made, that I'll reinforce every time we talk about this, is we have the ability to make some small structural changes that impact, but there also have to be some corresponding changes at home, in families, and with habits that students develop, because like everybody, we develop habits. And students also have to develop habits in the evening, whether that's how they manage their time, how they work ahead with projects, how they, as Dr. Silbaugh mentioned, remove some of the stimulus that happens, whether it's TV, phone, or all of the above at the same time while they're doing 20 other things. So it has to work in concert. And so not only can we make an impact, we think, here, but if an impact is made on the evening end, the nighttime end, then we can double that impact. And so, again, we think this is very worthwhile. It's a perfect example of an initiative that was not a part of our strategic plan 4 years ago, but it emerged, it was added to the plan, it was studied, and any strategic planning process has to have some agility and ability to deal with things. And we think this is a really good example, and that's why tying it into the town hall will give us a group of people to be able to bounce these ideas back. One of the points, Ms. Hathorn, if you could go back to the board docs, and it's towards the bottom of scope of work. And I put it here intentionally. We will eventually make a recommendation to the board. That recommendation will be informed by how we listen to students and parents. But we are not suggesting a majority vote of 50.1% of our community around it. Ultimately, we're going to listen, and then we're going to make a recommendation based on consideration of everything. But it likely will not be a case where we're asking democratically for a majority vote and we make the decision that way. So we will consider all factors and then bring something forward. Again, early timeline is we're looking before winter so that we have plenty of time based on the recommendation and decision, to communicate that effectively to all our families, to make sure all of the other details like transportation are connected, extracurricular activities, athletics, you name it. So part of the reason that we worked at a moderate pace is we know that any change has significant rippling impact on our families and on our programs, and we need to leave enough time to manage that transition effectively.
Any other questions? I have one question for our audience. So to sit at a 7:20 start time, you got to be up by 6:30 latest, probably more like 6 a.m. So if our high school students are here with us tonight, which of you went to bed before 10 p.m. last night? Raise your hands. Very good. How about before 11 a.m.? 11 p.m. So who got to bed midnight or later? Okay. So exactly. So we can all work on that, and that is also an invitation to stay and join us. But if you feel you have homework and other commitments, and I know what time you have to be here in the morning, feel free to avail yourselves and take advantage of this transition moment. So
Clearly, that was an invitation to leave without.
in so many words. Thank you all. Finance, I'm going to hit you on buildings and grounds tonight too, Mark,
Okay.
so you're ready.
My feelings are hurt, though. I thought they would really like to hear.
You think they would have stayed for finance alone?
Yeah. Man, I won't take it personally. Shall I start? Finance?
Please.
All right. Item 3.01 is a motion to approve the financial reports dated August 31st, 2018, and accounts payable dated September 17th, 2018, in the amount of $817,981.33, and paid accounts for August, September in the amount of $6,508,163.47 as listed.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.02 is a reminder that we will not have any budget transfers until October. And item 3.03 is a reminder of our next Finance Committee meeting on December 10th at 6. And it could be a joint meeting with Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you, Mark.
Welcome.
Dr. Meyer, academic achievement.
Okay. Item 4.01. The copyright date of our current AP history books is 2003, and due to the increased enrollment in the course, the district needed to purchase additional 21 books. Over the course of the summer, attempts were made to purchase additional books, but due to the copyright date, those attempts were unsuccessful. The current version of the same textbook is available through the National Geographic Learning Center, Western Civilization since 1300 AP edition, updated 10th edition. The company has agreed to provide us with 80 books and 80 online student accounts for one school year. If we select the resource, the cost will be approximately $12,000 for a 6-year license. If we choose another vendor, there will be no cost to the district other than to pay for any damaged books. The arrangement was signed by Dr. Pasquinelli. The updated textbooks should arrive in early September. The online accounts are ready for students and teachers to be used immediately. Over the course of the year, the district will conduct an evaluation of other AP European history textbooks and make recommendations for purchase. Item 4.02 is a joint...
And I'll just pause.
Oh.
So any comments or feedback? Thank you for the disclosure. Since this is existing curricular materials, there's no formal board vote required. It does sound like it's time, so we'll see something over the course of the school year for materials and new textbook evaluations, possibly.
That's accurate, yes.
Awesome.
Okay. 4.02, review of Joint Academic Achievement Student Services Committee meeting was held prior to the combined meeting. The committee discussed measuring students' growth and achievement. And item 4.03 is a reminder. My computer's being slow. Please bear with me. so I can remember the date. Okay. An Academic Achievement Committee meeting has been scheduled for November 19th, 2018 to review the 2018 Academic Achievement and Growth Report. A board meeting will not follow the committee meeting on this date. And that is all.
Thank you, Carla. I would just add my thanks under item 4.02 for the Joint Academic Achievement Student Services Committee meeting. I think virtually everyone who's present now was there, so you know what a weighty topic that is, and I appreciate everyone's contributions, open-ended thinking to try to tackle a topic. Dr. Miller provided us with a lot of background both prior to the meeting and then also introducing the topic, as well as the administration and the guided discussion. I think it was a very worthwhile time spent together. I appreciated the smaller group format. I hope everyone found that rewarding in the discussions. Back to you, Mr. Kashani, if you could do buildings and grounds for us.
Sure. So item 5.01 is a motion to approve the disposal of cafeteria tables in accordance with policy 622, GASB Statement 34.
Second, please.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I would just add that in the time that we didn't need these to start the year, we used these when we needed to relocate Hans into school within a school. So even before official disposal, we got a last 7 days out of those tables, and it was very helpful. Well, worth far more than the $1,500 we're going to sell those babies in for now.
Any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5.02, it's a motion to approve the purchase of science lab tables for the Pine-Richland Middle School from Workspace Interiors by Office Depot at a cost of $5,991 as attached.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
5.03, motion to approve the purchase of a riding floor scrubber for Eden Hall Upper Elementary School from Pitt Specialty, Inc. as attached.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5.04, motion to approve the purchase of tables and chairs for the Pine-Richland High School Planetarium as attached.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5.05 is a summer projects update, which is also depressing because it reminds us the summer is over. And there's a nice list of anything worth highlighting. Ms. Kirk?
Highlight would be that the two auditoriums, the one at Richland Elementary and the one at the middle school, have been completed. I believe there's a picture of here's Richland, and you can see it looks fantastic.
It does.
So even amongst all of our other challenges that we've had this summer, we've had some pretty great improvements happening at a lot of our buildings. There will be obviously additional projects that you will see approved throughout the year, but we usually try and condense as much as we can for your summer project update. So that will be the last one at this point in time, but moving forward for each agenda, you'll have individual projects that were included in the capital funding plan.
Maybe the next description could be the Indian summer projects update.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Student Services, Dr. Campbell.
All right, item 6.01 is a motion to approve the 2018-19 site-based academic services agreement between the Wesley Family Services and the Pine-Richland School District as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, item 6.02 is a motion to approve the purchase of 20 Apple laptops and 5 iPads with accessories and software at a cost not to exceed $33,059.10 for the high school music tech course.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And lastly, we have a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the student discipline code at the for a 7th and 8th grade choir, 7th and 8th grade orchestra and chamber orchestra, and the women's ensemble to travel to Hershey in May to participate in a 2019 Music in the Parks competition as described.
Second.
The attached forms.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Mihalik, if you could take us through staff services, we appreciate it.
Sure, thanks. Item 7.01 is a motion to approve personnel and supplemental items, personnel items for action and supplementals for approval.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7.02 is a motion to approve practicum students listed from Duquesne University, Maggie Mazzata and Zachary Friedman.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to confirm with Pat Clare. So Dr. Meyer had asked the question. She works in the School of Education, but not specifically with psych department students. So just want to make sure that's not a conflict of interest in any way. So good. That's what we said, but we figured we'd make your trip worthwhile.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ready to vote? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7.03 is a motion to approve the staff attendance and application of Jean Whalen, Director of College and Career Counseling, to participate in counselor information sessions at the University of Maryland, College Park, Maryland, from Monday, September 17th to Wednesday, September 19th, as attached.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7.04 is an information item, and it's recognizing the tenure status of individuals listed in the attachment. So congratulations to staff members achieving tenure.
Here.
And item 7.05 is an information item, a reminder of a Staff Services Committee meeting scheduled for November 12th, 2018 at 6:00 p.m. to discuss leadership development.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Moy, Operational Services.
It's informational. This is a reminder of the Operational Service Committee meeting. This will be on October 15th at 6 p.m. Tentative topics are food services, management, print services, transportation, and technology.
Thanks, ma'am. Under board business, we have 2 elections which are uncontested, so I'm going to read them with the names inserted. Item 9.01 is a motion to approve the casting of a vote on behalf of the Pine-Richland School District for Eric Wolfgang as president-elect and Art Levinowitz as vice president.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.02 is a motion to elect William Lakoff, Dr. Richard Frakes, and Nathan Maines as trustees for the board of the PSBA Insurance Trust.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.03 are proposed revisions to Board Policy 006 covering our meetings. By way of background, which Ms. Williams provides here, the PSBA is recommending changes across the board to accommodate the additional exemption for executive session or non-public meetings to discuss school safety items in addition to the 5 existing statutory exemptions, which is included in the revised policy. PSBA's policy service also sort of scrubs our policies in general when they go through it, right? And so there were a few other changes. I don't think there was really anything of substance too much. I did want to highlight to the board the public participation, mainly because it was a topic that some board members may recall we discussed a couple of years ago. I wanted to bring that up again as well, and as well as open the floor to any other items or changes that are proposed on this red line version that board members would like to discuss. So this is not a first reading. First reading is tentatively scheduled for October 15th. This is a discussion to begin to hash it out and understand what we want, because it's our meeting and it's our policy. Thoughts, feedback, or questions?
I did want to just make sure, on page 2, under regular meetings, number 1 agenda, since they, PSBA did add those 2 additional paragraphs, if that is what we want put in, or if we'd like to keep what our old language said. I just want to confirm that you do want it the way it is here.
And that change would only be of substance. I mean, it would be of substance if we change the agenda, but it would depend on how, I mean, do we change our agenda? We do at times, and just to get some flexibility. I mean, we've certainly moved agenda items around to accommodate a board member who might be late or have to leave early. So I would tentatively be inclined to retain the flexibility we have, although it's not that this imposes a great additional burden either. So.
I'm not sure that language even means anything with regard to the sequence. So it doesn't say anything about order. So I think we could do that without additional action.
Fair enough, yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep them, and number 2 will keep scratched out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regarding public participation at the bottom of the same page, our current language reads in red straight through. This is the actual one, but our current language reads that district residents may present at a board meeting and may address the board in accordance with law and board procedures. That language around district residents is not included by the PSBA, so we've reinserted the green district residents. That's probably more limiting than we would strictly be allowed to be under the law. Certainly any taxpayer or stakeholder, as Pat was able to define it for me before the meeting, would have a right to make a comment, and that's traditionally how we've interpreted it. So I would be inclined not to put that limiting language in there. We haven't interpreted it that strictly, because to be in accordance with the law, and I wouldn't want to lead a future chair member down the wrong path who's looking to that policy for strict guidance.
For the sake of it, some nuances. The Sunshine Law, when it describes what has to be in your minutes, it says, one of the entries is that you have to include the names of the citizens who appeared before the board and the subject of their testimony, remarks. But in the public participation section, it says that the board has to, and other agencies have to provide a reasonable opportunity to residents. So here, even the drafters of that act weren't being real strict, real scrupulous perhaps about the detail. Resident and citizen are kind of interchangeable, but the broader law, the constitutional level, is that a public entity like a school board, once it opens itself to public comment, which the Sunshine Law requires you to do, it has to be open to anyone who has some substantive interest in a matter. That would include perhaps a teacher who doesn't live in or pay taxes to this district, they live and pay taxes elsewhere. Even a disappointed bidder, a prospective candidate for an engagement as a contractor, that sort of thing. Anybody who has an interest in the business being discussed, they get the right to talk. So, and that's the way it's been been interpreted here and everywhere that I've been for 30 years.
So that would suggest removing the more restrictive language then from what's there, which sounds
Take
reasonable.
The PSBA recommended language.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll have this on a first reading October 15th. Certainly, people should avail themselves of reading it in more detail between now and then, and contact myself or Ms. Williams with any questions about why certain changes are recommended by the PSBA, or this more than the other policies are really the board owns them. Item 9.04 is simply a reminder of a strategic planning workshop, which is scheduled for October 29th at 6 p.m. To provide an update on our strategic plan process.
Could I just add there again, big picture reminder. So we have 4 board members who are part of our work team, and we met last week. But in terms of our sequence, we'll have our town hall on October 10th. We'll have a couple weeks to sort of debrief and reflect. Then we get to our next workshop, and that'll be really focused on some of those long-term goals and short-term actions.
Thank you. Reports. Ms. Misbach has provided a detailed Prof Liaison report. I encourage board members to download that and read that. Anything to add, Dr. Miller? I will add one thing, and it seems like weeks ago already that we confronted circumstances at hand at the opening of school district, and it almost slipped my mind that we had not met as a group since then. So on behalf of this entire community, it's been such a joy to hear their feedback for the work that the teachers, custodians, building maintenance, outside contractors, teachers, administrators, senior administrators, you all rolled up your sleeves, you rolled up your pant legs, quite literally in some circumstances, got dirty, and really made a lesson in resiliency, strength, flexibility out of a difficult situation. The communications were outstanding. The clarity to our community about what was going on, the steps were being taken to remediate it were second to none. It's just such a pleasure to be able to have received all their thanks and pass it on to you all now. And there's such a small number of you in this room right now, and hopefully more within the sound of my voice. And please pass that on. I couldn't mean it more deeply and more sincerely.
Thank you. We hope to never do it again.
Thank you. We'll move to our second recognition of visitors. If anyone would like to address the board, you may do so at this time. Thank you so much, everyone. We are going to adjourn.
Before you have one more thing, if Chris was here, she probably wants to mention the Proftoberfest on September 30th. That's in the announcement. So if anyone wants to go, it's a fundraiser for Prof. It's a 4-course meal with drink coupons at the Chatham University Eaton Hall campus. It's $100 per person because it's a fundraiser, but there's live music from the one of our Pine-Richland ensembles is there. Which one of them?
Jazz
Strings Ensemble will be there playing. So I wanted to plug that. Make sure we got the word out.
Does sound like fun. My wife and I will be there, so please join us, and Christine as well. Have a good evening, everyone. We're going to adjourn to executive session to discuss a personnel matter. Thank you.